this is my review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so this episode actually focuses on Iggy as a character. The main thing about this episode is that Iggy is capable of forming cohesive sentences in his head, and he's capable and is actually hyper intelligent. But due to the fact that he's a dog, he can't actually express himself. So yeah, there's a thing halfway through the episode where he starts speaking out loud. But when he actually goes to speak to a human, it doesn't actually come off as intelligible. So it's a recurring bit through this episode that Iggy is in fact incredibly smart, but isn't able to actually vocalize his thoughts because he's a dog. So the episode starts off with the Joestar group having finally gotten sick of trying to find the mansion themselves, ask somebody else to do it. So Polnareff accidentally offends a beggar guy who is in fact very territorial, because in Cairo, at least according to Abdul, people on the streets of Cairo who happen to be beggars are in fact very territorial and do not like it when people encroach on their territory. And while it takes Polnareff a couple of minutes to explain this, eventually they do come to an understanding, at which point Abdul asks the guy to go investigate Dio's mansion for them since he knows the town like the back of his hand. At which point it's revealed that he's actually a very wealthy private investigator and will happily find them for a small fee. So he goes off to go find the mansion while the rest of the group waits. Although Iggy has since gotten separated from the group, most likely because of his loner status. And sure enough, Iggy managed to find the mansion completely by accident. And sure enough, he's also seen as an easy meal for a couple of much bigger dogs. But due to his sheer presence as a stand user, he's able to intimidate the dogs to back off, leading them to go find some easier prey. At which point they go digging under the front gate of Dio's mansion and encounter a bit of a nasty surprise. So, as it turns out, the Dio's mansion has a bit of a metaphorical guard dog in the form of a stand user named Pet Shop, who is a very vicious falcon whose stand is very, very literal. So Pet Shop's stand is called Horus, who is a falcon god and is meant to represent the fact that Pet Shop is in fact a falcon. So the stand enables Pet Shop to be able to summon ice from nothing and create projectiles. And sure enough, he uses this exact technique to kill the two dogs that were invading Dio's mansion, and immediately kills, decapitates, and impales both of their heads. So, needless to say, Pet Shop's a little bit overkill. So, and sure enough, Iggy begins to surmise that this is most likely Dio's mansion, and realizes that the Joestar group is going to have a hell of a time getting in if Pet Shop is the guard dog, metaphorically speaking. So, and sure enough, when the private investigator finally shows up, he immediately kills the investigator, and sure enough, Iggy's suspicions are confirmed, realizing that anybody who tries to get close and enter the mansion is immediately killed by Pet Shop. So Pet Shop is a bit of a dangerous adversary, in that he's a falcon, one of the most dangerous hunting animals on the planet, but also a stand user, which is a bit of a dangerous combination, because not only is he one of the fastest things on the planet, but he's also able to generate ice, which can immobilize and impale people. So he's a bit dangerous. And Iggy is immediately dismissive of the whole situation, pointing out that it's not really his job to intervene, since as he points out, it doesn't really concern him whether or not the Joestar group gets into Dio's mansion or not, and he was just kind of brought along for the ride, so things don't really concern him. That is until Pet Shop notices him and gets him into a bit of an intimidation contest. At which point Iggy realizes he needs to play dumb in order to convince Pet Shop that he's not actually a threat, and sure enough, he is successful because eventually Pet Shop loses interest, and also is shown to be very capable of getting in and out of small spaces, because he's almost run over by a car and Pet Shop just ducks under it and flies under the car without any harm to him. So Pet Shop is also very agile as well. And while Iggy's immediately plans to get as far away from the mansion as possible, pointing out that he probably wouldn't stand a chance against Pet Shop, or rather, he might be able to, but chooses not to because it doesn't concern him, as I said. His attitude immediately changes when the owner of the 2 dogs that got killed by Pet Shop goes looking for them, and he realizes he needs to intervene on the human's behalf. So Iggy jumps inside the mansion. He scares off the human and tells him to get out, in dog speak, of course, before facing off against Pet Shop while trying to figure out what Pet Shop is actually capable of. And Pet Shop is quite the dangerous adversary. While Iggy's fool stand is able to replicate an incredible offense and defense, Pet Shop is able to use the element of surprise. He's able to immediately pin Iggy's feet to the ground and proceeds to go in for the killing blow with icicle spears. But Iggy is able to use his stand to defend himself and get himself free. But he does now have some minor scarring on the palms of his front paws. So he realizes he needs to get away from Pet Shop and tries to give him the slip. But Pet Shop is able to find him regardless of where he goes, and Pet Shop immediately goes after Iggy. At which point Iggy sneaks into the sewer and decides to lay low in there until Pet Shop goes away. But Pet Shop follows him into the sewer, and immediately attacks and presumably kills Iggy, until it's revealed that Iggy just used his stand to make a replica of himself using the Fool, and immediately delivers a fatal blow to Pet Shop. And while it doesn't kill him, he points out that maybe Pet Shop shouldn't be moving around so much, as he points out the wound is close to fatal and probably will kill him if he overexerts himself. And Iggy is willing to let bygones be bygones. He explains to Pet Shop how he's not willing to go after Dio anymore, and points out that they have no real reason to fight. But Pet Shop doesn't listen, and instead unleashes the true form of Horus, which is actually a giant mechanical bird thing, and heals his wound with Horus's ice powers. So, and then proceeds to chase after Iggy again after sealing off all the exits. And Iggy, despite his best efforts, does eventually get stuck in his corner by Pet Shop, who uses Horus to presumably finish him off. Although not, because we see in the preview for the next episode that Iggy did in fact not die from Pet Shop's final attack. So yeah, this episode introduces the idea that not only is Iggy intelligent, incredibly so, might I add, but it also points out that Iggy isn't the only instance of an animal developing a stand. It is apparently very rare, but apparently other animals can develop stands as well, as in the case of Pet Shop, who developed a very powerful one, and is also a little bit sadistic on top of that. So Horus is a little bit of a dangerous stand user in that regard, because not only is he one of the most dangerous killing machines on the planet, being a falcon, but he also has one of the most dangerous stands in the series up to this point, being an ability to generate ice and pin people into a corner so that they can't escape. So yeah, that begs the question of how is Iggy going to actually defeat Horus if Horus is just one of those stands that can't actually be pinned down. So yeah, Iggy has his work cut out for him. He has to face off against a stand user who is both incredibly sadistic, pointing out that he will probably be eaten alive if caught. And also, the Joestar group has no idea that any of this is going on, because their private investigator never came back, he's dead, so they have no idea that Iggy is actually facing off against a stand user, and presumably are going to have to eventually go looking for him. So it's going to be very interesting if and when that's the case, because Iggy has been shown to be capable, but even he has his limits. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, then be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of the episode, or go over on my Discord server, link in the description, and let me know there as well. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It's really helping me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!